Ladies and gentlemen, warm welcome. Although we're running a bit late, great to be physical here with you today. First time speaking after a year and a half in a live event. Also hello to our online guests and colleagues. Artificial intelligence, next technologies, very interesting topic. But it's also good, and this is what my profession is standing for, tourism, to connect people, to have people visiting other countries, exploring other countries, and how post-pandemic basically tourism will look like in Azerbaijan, and a little bit on how also this impacts our strategies in education. This is what I will be talking about today. Obviously, the world has been going through an unprecedented times. Tourism is definitely one of the hardest hit sectors by this pandemic, because it really impacted the people working with people. It is all the taxi drivers, the tourist guides, it is the waiters, the staff in restaurants, cafeterias and chakhanas, basically, who could not come to work, who could not basically follow what their also passion is, basically to work for people. And this is why the service sector will take some more time to recover over the next years, although I've learned yesterday that the economic outlook for Azerbaijan is better than anticipated. So this gives also hope to us in tourism that soon we will have people visiting and traveling to Azerbaijan and internationally again. 2019, obviously, this is no secret to all of us, was an excellent year for Azerbaijan in terms of tourism. We first time recorded 3.2 million travelers, and now with the borders opening for now 42 countries with specific protocols, and more than 20 airlines flying again to Azerbaijan, gives us hope that over the next months and next year we will basically continue to be on this path of recovery. Sustainable and responsible tourism, obviously we had to reassess our strategies. Where are we going to? What really is the best positioning of Azerbaijan in the global competition among other tourism destinations? And in this sense also to think that tourism is a horizontal. It affects all the speeches we heard today from technology, transportation, and all the other spheres. Basically, this is where tourism connects to. So a labor-intense field of economy. So we have to see, where is this future labor? How do we improve basically skills and workforce in this direction? We've seen a shift in the paradigms of travel recently, more healthy, more eco-friendly. People prefer less crowded places. People prefer to spend more time in the nature. So you see this also has an impact on what professions we will need in tourism. How do we need to shift our education and skills development? Of course, every destination in the world wants to be the most prestigious, outstanding in terms of, everyone is telling you, we are the most hospitable people, we have the best food, we have the most beautiful landscape, etc. But to live up to this, basically, we have to see what is the unique position of Azerbaijan. How can Azerbaijan also basically gain more visitors over the next years and strengthen its position on the global market? We are developing Azerbaijan based on its genuine, authentic assets, everything what is available. So we do not want to basically develop a Disneyland, a Disneyfication, although it also has positive sides, but we think that Azerbaijan has enough tangible, intangible assets where we can build on. Let me just mention a few out of them, because we also have international guests, and it's also good to see and to tell everyone basically what is really the unique features of this beautiful country. Very few people know that Azerbaijan, 9 out of 11 climate zones, you travel within 5 hours from a subtropical south with lemon trees and tea plantations to the mountains of ski resorts and the high Caucasus. Very few people know that we have 80% of the world's mud volcanoes here in the country. This is a unique feature. This is why also we're investing now in a mud volcano experience center next to UNESCO Gobustan Reserve. I don't know if you followed, but there is a big construction site going on. There is unique natural features like the healing oil of Naftalan or the salt case of Tustach. This is unique. This you don't find anywhere else. And very few countries in the world you find more than 100 ethnic groups with more than 20 languages all over the country. So all these features, among many, many others, endemic grapes, endemic crops, endemic agricultural products, where we can develop food and agrotourism on, many, many more to mention, not to forget the hospitality of Azerbaijani people to welcome any traveler here. And let me also highlight, last but not least, obviously the liberation of the occupied territories brings a huge potential and boost for tourism. It brings a lot of projects for infrastructure development, also for content, and I think also that, as mentioned earlier today, with smart cities, alternative energy resources, also sustainable and responsible tourism will be the concept for these new territories and a beautiful region. Obviously, not only to mention the cradle of Azerbaijani culture with Shusha, but many others to follow. So how is all that now connected to tourism education? We see that there is a lot of continuous investment in infrastructure. We see new hotels opening even during the past year and a half. I don't know if you followed, there is new city hotels, conference hotels, there is new resorts developed in the regions. As I said, a lot of new attractions. We have the Mud Volcano Visitor Center. I also invite all of you to Shakhdagh soon, to the season. There is a beautiful Shakhdagh mountain coaster for all those of you not so keen on skiing, but more basically getting the adventure in the mountains. So investment continues, and this requires us also to always see and seek new ways to meet these demands of the future in this very young industry of tourism. Professor Glenn mentioned an interesting fact of AI, artificial intelligence, and next technologies. Yes, they do all impact and drive tourism. Few of us could imagine to navigate around without Google Maps or Waze and others to find basically best prices on and recommendations and feedback on TripAdvisors and others. So it is part of the tourism industry, but the good thing is the core is human to human. We are not producing a bottle of wine, water or wine. We are also producing which we can ship from A to B. But in order to experience the full package, people and all of us will need to continue to move from A to B. We need to change our own physical location in order to immerse in the experience of a different culture, a different nature, and a different cuisine and many other things. So this is the good thing. The core in tourism is people-to-people action, and this will remain a sector in Azerbaijan where we need a lot of skilled workforce, a lot of skilled people. Yes, obviously in new directions and new dimensions, but it will play a major role in the non-oil economy of Azerbaijan also in the future. Currently, we're looking at 4 main directions when it comes to tourism education. Please, the next slide. One of them, let's start on the front workers for tourism, vocational education. New hotels opening, who is going to be the good chefs? Who is going to be the waiters there? So we need to invest in vocational education. And not only vocational education in a traditional sense, but we need to partner vocational education with the industry. So this is why we have launched now 2 programs, one in Gabala, one in Baku, in vocational schools. This is where industry partners, the largest industry partners, Absheron Hotel Group, Gabala Hotel Group, many others, partner with the vocational schools basically to implement the program on basically merge learning both in the school and in the properties, in the hotels themselves. This is a joint project of the State Agency of Tourism and the State Agency on Vocational Education. So you see also intergovernmental cooperation is key when we're looking at new models. Higher education, I've seen our rector from Azerbaijan Tourism and Management University. We need higher educational background and people specialized in different directions also in the future. These directions will be changing. We will need cultural heritage managers. We will need destination managers who are able to bring private and public sector together. So this is an investment in the future. We currently run a program in the university with one of leading tourism universities in Europe, but are still assessing what other international partners can be brought in these university programs to basically diversify also the educational directions. A very important element also we have seen during the pandemic is professional education. So we have a lot of colleagues out there basically who during the pandemic were not able really to deliver work. So one program we started especially for those on-the-job trainings is we have launched a tourism training and certification center under the Azerbaijan Tourism Board on a digital platform, delivering courses to industry professionals free of charge, goes without saying, in order to upgrade their skills, in order to bring them on top of their existing education and international certificate. We've partnered with ACHLE, which is a remunerated American Hotel Association. So basically to give them an upgrade in their skills. So far, around 400 participants have successfully passed. And we have also engaged 23 trainers right out of the industry who are delivering these programs. So this is something we're very proud of. Entrepreneurial mentorship, not to forget, it's about innovation. That's what we heard today also. It's about how the self-activation happens. We want more people, especially in the regions of Azerbaijan, to be engaged in tourism, and for this basically we have launched RIDM project. RIDM stands for Regional Product Innovation Project. We have received more than 280 excellent ideas of potential future entrepreneurs. We're currently assessing these ideas. We partner here with PwC and Pasha Holding. They are basically supporting our project. And the finalists, the 10 top finalists, will be running through an acceleration program with PwC basically to see how their ideas can really put into action and into real business models also in the regions. So regional product development, regional engagement is one of the key pillars, because the future of tourism will not only primarily happen in Baku, but will and have to happen in the regions, and this is why we have to strengthen the regions and our colleagues in the regions in all these activities. And for me to close, what is next? You see beautiful Chidir Plain. What is next? There is a lot of projects and infrastructural development continue. Basically, the government has not stopped over the past 1.5 years, although there were very few tourists in the country, to proceed with all the plans in terms of creating platforms where people will be using both to work but also to enjoy as tourists. So I'm very positive personally that the human being will not be long without this interconnecting and discovering, continue to discovering the world and different cultures. In that sense, Azerbaijan will be among the top players in travel destinations also in the future. Yes, the path of recovery will take us some time, but we will definitely be successful. Thank you very much for your attention.